Hey, what's going on? Aaron Goldstein here. In this video, we're going to look at something very important. We're going to look at what rich people spend money on versus what poor and middle class people spend money on. And it is staggering. It is astonishing. It is amazing. It's actually the complete opposite. And it's not just some rich people or some poor people. All rich people spend money on one specific thing. All poor and middle class people spend money on something that's completely opposite. Alright, so there's this guy that I used to work with, and he would always brag about all the stuff that he had. He's got this big TV that was like 60 inches or 70 inches. He had a motorcycle, he had this $3,000 couch in his house, all these things, right? He would always brag about all the stuff that he had. I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, rich people have big libraries, poor people have big TVs. So what the hell does that mean, right? Well, what's in libraries? Libraries have books in them. And what do books have? Information. When you have better information, you can make better decisions. Right? So here's the thing. So Donald Trump has written, well, he's a billionaire, right? Multi-billionaire. Donald Trump has written a lot of books about, how he got rich and how he made money and how he grew his businesses. And I've read a lot of those books, right? Some of them multiple times. Well, once I read those books, I got the information he had put into my brain. How cool is that? The principles and strategies he used to make billions of dollars, I put in my brain, right? And I was able to use that same information. So when I started starting businesses, I would do things differently based on the information from Donald Trump's books. And because of that, I was able to make more money in less time with less stress. Quicker, too, right? And it wasn't just with his books. I've read a ton of different books, right? But the power of this rich people, when they spend money on books, they're spending money on themselves. They're investing in themselves. Rich people spend money on investing in themselves and or investing in their businesses. And by doing so, they spend money on stuff that's going to make them even more money. Okay? So like one of the things I did, and you might have heard me bring this up in other videos, depending on how many videos you've watched, but I started a detail shop, right? So I put $7,000 into this detail shop. In 6 months, I made $35,000 back. I put $7,000 into it. I made $35,000 back in profit that I put in my pocket in 6 months, right? So that means in 6 months, after I paid myself back, I made, what's that, guys? I made $28,000. And then every month after that, I was making $2,000 to $3,000. Not a month, sorry. Every week after that, from that detail shop, I was making $2,000 to $3,000 a week. Well, see, guys, that's investing in myself. So you invest in something that's going to make you even more money. And then what you do, and this is what rich people do, is they'll maybe invest in a business, right? Or maybe they invest in getting better information that allows them to make more money. And then what they do is once they start making money from that business, they invest into it again. They invest into it again. And then they eventually get to the point to where they're making so much money, they're on such a high level, on such a high playing field, that they can go out there and they can, buy all the stuff that they could have bought before and a lot more and still have a ton of money left over. I know this guy that did this. I know this guy, he started 8 businesses and it failed. I think it was the 9th business. Was it the 9th business that took off? I think it was the 9th business that took off. So he invested all of his money, okay? He borrowed like $50,000 from his friends and family and invested it into these businesses, and he lost. But he didn't give up. He kept trying, and one of the businesses took off. And when he started making money with that business, so he spent money on something that made him even more money, and had the potential to, right? And as long as you know the right stuff, guys, starting a business is not risky at all, because you can almost guarantee that you will spend money and make even more money. Almost guaranteed. But you just have to know the right information, right? So this guy started making money with his business. Well, guess what? He kept putting it back into this business. Now this guy's worth over $500 million. $500 million. and he's got Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and the place he lives in is $200 million, a pretty big place. So what he did is, instead of buying all the fun stuff that he wanted to buy, he had a little delayed gratification, spent money on himself, and after a time, he got to such a high level, he was making so much money because he invested in himself so much, he was able to buy all the things he could never have even dreamt of buying before because he had the money, and he still has a ton of money saved, and he's still making a ton of money. Rich people spend their money on things and invest their money on things that will make them even more money. Poor and middle class people do not. Right? It doesn't. Guys, you go out there and you buy a 70-inch flat screen TV, it might look really cool, which it is. It's pretty cool. All right? But in a year from now, you're not going to be able to turn around and sell that TV and make more money. Right? If you go out there and you buy a motorcycle and you drive it for a year, it's going to be fun driving the motorcycle. In a year, you're not going to be able to turn around and buy and sell that motorcycle to make more money, right? And that motorcycle is not going to be making you money, right? Unless you're like a professional motorcycle person or something like that. But if you're at that level, there's a good chance you're getting sponsorships and people are buying the motorcycles for you. At that point, there's companies that are investing in you. You're like their asset. You're like they're investing in you, right? Which you could totally do too, and it works. So hopefully you guys got some value from this video. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. That way you can be the first to be notified of new videos similar to this one that I put out, that have money-making tips, money-making strategies, and wealth hacks in them. My name is Aaron Goldstein, and I will see you on the next video.